Then we spread that apart a little bit. Now we can really see it better. And we take our clipper on a 30 or a 40 and we just go straight in. And then we wiggle it back and forth. This is how I do it. You may find a different, better way to do it for yourself. That's great. Doesn't matter, as long as you get your line where you want it to be. But me doing with the scissors is what I was taught by another poodle person, and it helps me. So I can kind of figure out where I want all my stuff to be. And additionally, you know, setting this pattern and doing that, you're also not making it so short and tight to the skin that you can't make a correction. Now, AKC calls for, in the English saddle, they call for what they call a kidney patch, which is that little half moon shape right here. I hate that. I think it's stupid. I'm not. And I don't have to because I show UKC. If we were showing AKC with him, I would have to. The other trick to doing any kind of pattern trims like this is once you get it set, keep doing it like every week. If you have a hair machine like him, every week. Cut in your little, you know, once you get your lines, just go back in and go beep, 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 and just cut those lines because you'll lose them really fast. And it's weird because you're trying to, you know, your brain tries to tell you to go ahead and just cut that line all the way down to the skin, but you really don't want to do that. Because now what you want to do is you want to come in and you want to trim the edge. And you always want to trim up and down like this, not like this, because that takes off of your roundness in the front or your shape of what you're trying to make. So you always want to go up and down like this and just trim your edge. And again, not really crisp lines yet, but you're setting exactly where you want it to be. And once you do that, then you can come back in with your clippers and clean those lines up. So I'm just going to set his one side over here so we can get an idea. Because in order to do this whole trim on demonstration, it would probably take me like 3 hours, so we don't want to do that. So again, what did I do? I figured out where I wanted the line, I checked the front, I checked the back, and I cut the middle. But I still haven't trimmed anything else yet, so now I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. The front is essentially the same as the Continental, but the rear leg is the one that you split in threes. We're going to go ahead and do his cuff. And when I have him in a poodle trim all the time, I do this like every couple of weeks. I do his feet and his cuffs, so it takes like no time at all. So if you have a regular client that, you know, you're doing poodle feet on, even once a month, this takes nothing, and you almost don't have to trim the bottom of their foot or their cuff at all. You'll occasionally miss a hair, but most of the time it takes away all of that scissoring. And if I'd decided to do this 6 weeks ago before I came, it would have been easier, but we were still waffling. We were trying to find a Bichon, and it didn't happen. So, all right, so now we're going to find that line, which on a toy, where there's that hock, that little bone that sticks out in the rear. Lay your finger right there. That's where you want that line to be. So you can see it kind of coming together. And then I'm just going to trim the very edges of any of the hair sticking out over that line. And I'll come back and set that in with the clipper as soon as I get everything where I want it to be. But now I can see where I want it. Now we're going to split this part in half. Essentially, you want the knee to be almost right in the center. So you're kind of making like a little pants kind of a thing. Make sense? Yep. Yep. And you don't want to take away the angle from the Continental. You're shaving all of this. So you're exposing. If you didn't have good angulation, that's a lot of why you don't see this trim a lot still, even when they show AKC, because they think you're trying to cover up a bad rear end, because you can with that much hair. So a lot of times that's why you mostly see the Continental being shown, is because they think if you're showing in a saddle, you're trying to cover up a bad rear end. But a good judge can tell. So. This is how you do that little, like, the little diaper butt thing on the, on the Asian Fusion. That's how you do that too. I think that's probably where it came from. Somebody went, oh, isn't that cute? Look at the little bubble butt. And then they decided they were going to do it. All right, so can you guys see that from the front? I can't see it really well there. So much hair. So much hair. So you follow that line all the way around. If you got dingleberries, make sure you stick your fingers on them so you don't cut them. They don't appreciate it. They don't like it. So follow that line all the way around the inside of the leg, all the way around the front. Don't take any of this stuff off, because we want to match our angulation from here. All right, so now we can see where we want all our lines to be, and we can trim up all the edges. The top of the hock always goes at an angle like this towards the front. And the rear comes up. I've shown you guys this little trick several times. Come around the back, halfway up the side. These extreme curves are longer than my other ones. I was wondering why they felt weird. I just got them from Steven, but I think they're a little bit longer than my other ones. And we're just going to tidy that front. We want it to come out around the knee, just like if you were doing a German or a modern. You don't want to trim all that off. You'll see some of the old-fashioned photos, and they'll look like they've got literally like a big round pom-pom in each section. Don't do that. No, no, no. Don't do that.